Welcome to Conversations with a Modern Girl, the podcast hosted by myself, Shamika Patterson, the guru of mental health and well-being. Join me as we embark on a journey of exploration and discovery, as we deepen our thoughts, as we discuss topics that affect our community. I coin myself the queen of randomly thinking, and as I'm randomly thinking and having these discussions in these podcast episodes, I invite you to join me with these thought-provoking discussions on a wide range of subjects, from lifestyle trends to the culture of the Black church, and also discussing some obstacles that we face in middle-class America, also to the intersection of mental health and well-being. Be prepared to be inspired, challenged, and empowered as we engage in meaningful conversations that aim to spark positive change and personal growth. Get ready to expand your horizons and enhance your understanding of these important issues in Conversations with a Modern Girl. Thank you so much for joining me today on Conversations with a Modern Girl. It has been a minute, but I did not leave you without anything to listen to. So, for all of my returning and faithful followers, thank you for sticking by my side and waiting on me to show up again. And for my new followers that have been actively downloading my podcast and enjoying them, welcome to the club. And I hope that you know my style and the way we flow over here as we are randomly thinking. Today, I want to jump right into it as I normally do. And I want to talk about randomly not letting go, right? So recently I was looking at a show. National Geographic was hosting in this pole to pole, and it has Will Smith in it. And Will Smith was doing an interview in reference to this show. On this show, he is exploring different areas of the world. So, he's going to not just like 7 wonders of the world, but just different areas and having these explorations where he is experiencing and pushing himself to the highest ability that he can, mentally, physically, emotionally, as he is on these expeditions to test himself. So, he's doing this on these adventures and is learning a lot about himself through this process. So he was on, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel's show here recently, and he was sharing this recent near-death experience he had from one of these expeditions that he was on, right? So he talked about being on a deep dive in the North Pole, where he accidentally pulled his mask off while diving in an upside down ice mountain, right? So I think it was an upside down ice mountain range. And he nearly drowned during this experience. He said that he heard the sound of abort dive. And he went to ascend, but he hit the ice. So he was up under this ice mountain, right? So he's panicking. He grabbed the tether as he was instructed to do, for he could go ahead and try to pull himself up. Well, when he grabbed the tether, he accidentally pulled off his mask. So, okay, this is full panic mode, right? I can only imagine. No, I couldn't imagine the terror that he probably felt in those moments. And so he had to quickly pull himself together and put the mask back on his face. And he tells about, how he was trying to help himself calm down. And then in the point of him, this moment of him trying to calm himself down, he begins to feel himself being lifted up. So someone up top was pulling him. They was pulling his tether, and he was being rescued. And so in that moment, he said he relaxed. He knew he was good. And he just started looking at all the beauty around him, so he could see the sunlight, the water, as he is ascending upward out of this ocean that he was in with this ice mountain. And so when he got up there, he knew he was being saved, and he was saying to himself, whoever's up there, don't let go of my tether. And, I was watching that, and first natural, then spiritually, I automatically thought about that in a spiritual sense of the Lord not letting go of our tether, So I thought of all the times that God didn't let go of my tether. I'm so thankful that Jesus hasn't let go of my tether. I'm so thankful that Jesus held on to my tether even when I didn't know. And I pray that he continues to do that and don't ever let me go. Rescue me, Jesus, in those times when I know that I'm doing wrong or I'm not on the right path and I didn't make the right decisions. Please don't ever let go of my tether. How many can testify to that? How many can testify to the fact of wanting to understand and know that God has your tether and you're so thankful that he does? Because in life, we can start to panic about certain situations, right? We get worried and we don't know how to handle things, or what we may have been doing before is not working in this instance. And so we panic, we get upset, we try to figure things out. And in those moments, God is telling us to calm down, breathe, and trust me. I'll never leave you. I'll never forsake you. Deuteronomy 31 says, the Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid and do not be discouraged. That's encouraging to know that the Lord has us and he's not going to let go of our tether. It's so many ways we can look at this and talk about it and process it. And I just want you to think to yourself and remember sometimes in your life where God rescued you. Where that you might have been in a place in your life, whether it was a mental place, a physical place, a situation, or whatever, and God did not let go of your tether. God pulled you through, guided you. My mind goes back to when I used to see those small toddlers would have these backpacks on that even kind of look like a little animal or something, and it was a string that was attached to the parent, right? So the child could wander off and do whatever and explore or whatnot, but couldn't go too far because it was attached to his or her parents. And so as it was attached to them, that child forgets that they are on this quote unquote leash. And so as they're exploring or doing things, that parent can pull that child back. That parent can nudge that leash and pull that child back to safety. No, come back, come here, come follow me, come do this. And that's how we are connected to the Lord, those of us that have a relationship with him. That God is able to guide us. We're able to trust and know that how far I may go or may fall, the Lord has me and will pull me back. And there is so much safety and reassurance in that thought. It makes me think about the song Safe in His Arms, because you're safe in God's arms. Nothing can harm you. And I think we oftentimes forget about that because we get so caught up in the natural sense of how we want things to play out, how we want things to look, or, we get disencouraged by failures or setbacks. And sometimes we get so encouraged by things going our way, by things happening in a timely fashion, by us thinking that we are doing something to propel our own selves to our destiny. God forbid that we think that we're doing that on our own, because we're not. But it's those times and those moments that sometimes there's a reminder that comes back to let you know that you're not doing it alone. And when you get in trouble, your tether is being guided by the Lord. The Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean to your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will direct thy paths. So, as we're maneuvering through this thing called life, we have to think about how God maneuvers with us and guides our path. It's not you alone. It's the Lord that's in you that's helping guide and direct your path. And even when we go astray, even when we fall short, even when we're in situations we shouldn't be in, God has that connection with us, and that tether, someone is going to be pulling it, and that someone is Jesus. And we say, God, please don't move my tether. Don't let go of my tether. You think about being afraid, but I'm going to put all my trust in you. And that's hard to do sometimes because, like I said earlier, we think that we can fix things ourselves. We think if we can do this and move this around and talk to this person or move in this direction or, follow through with this, that we're doing that. You're not orchestrating anything because the Lord is guiding you the entire way. Nothing catches the Lord by surprise. Nothing. And so listening to Will Smith talk about his experience and being in a place of vulnerability, that you're in an ocean in the North Pole, it's freezing cold, and to see death right in his face, in that moment, to panic and freak out and wonder how I'm going to get out of this situation, and grab and hope to what you were instructed to do. That's what we do in life. We go back to what's familiar to us. We go back to what has worked for us before. We go back to those moments, those things, those trials, those things that we think can do it for us. And what if it doesn't work? Oh my God, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. And just when things are spinning out of control, and just when you think this is it and this is in, you're being guided up, ascended up out of whatever it was. That's grace. That's mercy. Wow. Think about that. It makes me think about the hymn. I don't know how many of you remember hymns, but we would have these hymns at church. And one that's sticking out in my mind as I'm talking about it is, "Guide me, O great Jehovah, pilgrim through this barren land. I am weak, but thou art mighty. Hold me with thy powerful hand." I am weak, but thou art mighty. And it goes on to say, "Feed me now and evermore, bread of heaven, and feed me now and evermore." If you know that hymn, you know what I'm referencing. But it makes me think about, my grace is sufficient for you. For my power, it makes it perfect in weakness. Meaning that our limitations can actually lead us to rely more and fully on God. Oh, I just thought that was such an awesome message to share. I thought it was such an awesome way to start out our podcast for this 2026. Understanding and knowing that God guides us. And don't let go. Don't let go. Many of us went through several things in the last season or the last year of our life. And some of us went through so much we can't even talk about it. You may not even have the words formulated to discuss what you experienced, or it's so painful, I don't want to go back and remember what I experienced during that time. But God did not let go of your tether. And you may have felt like you was on the deep end and you were dangling and you were suffocating and you could not make it, but you're here. You're here right here today in this moment in 2026. And that may have been 2025. It may have been 2024. We all have had some trying times. And some of us are still in a trying time, but we're still standing. And so what I want you to understand and know is that please don't let go. Don't let go. Don't let go of my tether. Hold me, guide me. And you know what? Sometimes we have to pray and say, "Lord, help me get out of my own way." Because sometimes we get in our own way trying to fix it. And you know what I had to realize several years ago? God don't need your help, Shamika. God does not need your help. He has it all under control. Nothing is going to catch him off guard. Nothing is too hard for him. You cannot do something so terrible and so bad that God will not love you through it. Consequences will come, yeah, but he'll love me through it all. Because guess what? He's not going to let go. He's right here with me, leading, guiding me, loving me, directing me. But those things don't come easy because you got to know how to decrease in order for him to increase. What do you mean by that, Shamika? I mean, you got to learn how to sit back and be quiet and meditate and study the word and understand and know the Lord's voice when he's talking to you. to understand and know that calmness and that stillness, that guide that lets you know when to go, when to stop, how to do it, who to talk to, who not to, when to go silent in prayer, when to fast, when to pray, praying always, praying always, walking in his light always. You have to know the difference in that. But in order to do that, you got to decrease in order to increase. And how do you do that? Through prayer and supplication, through prayer, dedication, through fasting, through reading your word, getting an understanding for yourself, understanding and know this is a personal thing. This is a personal thing. Yeah, the church, the pastors, the ministers, the choir, the praise team, all that is wonderful. And it's all great to be a part of and to be amongst. It is. But when trouble is around you, just like Will Smith was talking about out there in that North Pole Ocean, up under up under this ice mountain, here you are. And that deep ocean could mean anything to you. You put into mind what it means to you. You put into mind what it feels like to be up under a ice mountain in the middle of the North Pole in darkness, and your oxygen gets cut off. You put it into terms and what you can experience. It could be a midnight hour for you. It can be a dark time for you. It could have been a sickness. It could have been a relationship. It could have been a job. It could have been an eviction. It could have been anything, whatever that dark space is for you. And you felt like your oxygen was cut off. You felt like I'm at the end of my rope and this is not going to work for me or end for me in a good way. And yet some way, somehow, God didn't let go. And he pulled you to a place of safety, held you there, rescued you. And you know what? Above all of these things that I'm talking about, God paid the ultimate price and sacrifice for us back on Calvary. He lived through it all so that we can stand here today and be able to conquer those things that come before us. So giving our lives to Christ because he gave our lives for us gives you the assurance that he won't let go. And I say to him, don't let go, Lord. Don't let go. I just wanted to jump on and get the ball rolling with our new season. Just want to come and just talk to you guys and give you a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of love, just to bless the mic a little bit and give you a little bit of conversation to get you on your way to start this thing off the best way we can. And that is giving these conversations that help you get through your day or your tribulation, your life in whatever way, however way that looks like, and oftentimes, sometimes it's challenging because I question, well, how is this going to go over? How is this going to work out? Because why? I'm putting too much work into it, too much thought into it when I should just let it flow. Because guess what? He's not going to let go of me. He's going to guide me. So I am glad to start this season off again. We started it off with randomly thinking about not letting go. We're starting this season off in a good way. It is Black History Month. I hope you got your Black History gear together. I hope you're spreading love. I hope you're spreading cheer. I hope you're being positive in any space that you come into because we're choosing joy. Despite what all is going on around us, we're going to choose joy. And so I ask you to make sure you download all the episodes. If you haven't, make sure you're following Conversation with the Modern Girl. Give me some feedback. You know how to get at me. You can find me on my socials. I'm on Instagram, Conversation with the Modern Girl podcast. We're on Instagram with just Modern Girl Movement. Also on Facebook, or you can hit me up on the email, martingirlmovement@gmail.com. Look here, I look forward to a good season, some great conversations, some great mixers. Send me your questions. Send me some of your suggestions. Let's set this thing off right. I think we're going to have an excellent season. Matter of fact, I know we're going to have an excellent season. And as always, I don't want to hold you long. Just want to give you a little bit of something to think on. Just want you to have a conversation with the Modern Girl. And guess what? Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to download this on all streaming platforms so that they can follow They can comment, they can share, and we can rock this thing out. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. Look forward to chatting with you good again soon. Thanks. Thank you to all the listeners out there. I ask you to please go to my YouTube page and like and subscribe to Conversations with the Modern Girl. Also, take the time to follow me on my social handles. Instagram is Modern Girl Movement. Facebook, same Modern Girl Movement. Thank you.